from that. This episode here that I did also yesterday. Also yesterday.
Episode 20 Counterpublic Courier Performance Review. Hunter S. Thompson, after 3 months of interborough delivery work to the underserved, overworked, underspun, outgunned, intersexed, overhexed, and counterfactual residents of this swamped rich, now waits for his performance review to see how the higher-ups value his work so far. The administrative assistant tells Hunter that corporate is ready to see him now. Feeling a little shaky but excited, Hunter enters the boardroom of glass and gold and takes a seat. You've completed a remarkable 3 months, Mr. Thompson. Although a little eccentric and extracurricular, we can certainly appreciate your independent thinking and loyalty to the codshipper name. The fact that you personally delivered all those eggs on an intraplanet to Bogota shuttle is a highlight we can hardly discount. So, where does this leave me? Boss, I am hungry for promotions and conditional raises. Let's party or take an axe. Codhead Director of Business. Thank you. We at Code Enterprise know a valuable commodity when we see one. But you shouldn't let your codenless creativity go to your head. By all means, you're not the only talented codeshipping Lothario. Many aspirants are eager to fill your sandals and replace you on the desk delivery front. Come master logistics. But it's not only talent that impresses us here. It's also a solid work ethic. For example, how you broke the cartography codes that led to the discovery of a new star cluster, all while balancing inventory management and package flow optimization. It is truly admirable. Let me shake a ladder to that. If only this was a paid hobby. One thing for certain, business isn't always good. Hard to believe we make any dime out of doing little missions like these. Better learn some skills. Doodles make the code? No. Money I do. I am nothing without customers. You all are nothing without me. Chief Investigation Officer. Excellent delivery, sir. Don't take things too personal, if you know what I mean. Here at EFT, we strive to create an open and creative atmosphere, which gives code and fitnesses to anyone who joins our ranks, even the lesser ones with less promise and power. We treat them all the same as if they were us. We even employ virtual codies with artificial intelligence who could easily replace any member of our delivery workforce. This is because, as much as they need us, we also need them. An oftentimes overlooked fact, especially among staff who feel proud or self-important. But behind the scenes, the numbers don't lie. Unemployment is high and wages low, leading to restless and volatile crowds. We here at Coding's Future hope to use this performance review as a platform to establish incentives and opportunities for continued excellence in delivery. Hunter, so what are the areas that need improvement? Our firearms are now unlocked for my use for that. Protection of our customers' precious cargo, because I think I deserve that. A hotshot guy from Bohemian Cod for Landy, armed to the teeth with bare fists and firepower. They smiled at the old gonzo like a lion to his prey, chewing on his bones. Hunter let out a satisfied hump and laid his bones down for the night. Be the fearless pilot to nocturnal deliveries, he announced to the room. Then he retired to his private quarters and kicked back to his many gamer nuggets and vapes. Now, it's only the beginning of a bright future for both employees and corporations. There will be more to come and lots to uncover. But for the time being, Hunter will keep his code essentials in order and strive for betterment in the real world. Keep the dream alive and make a cod in the mud. The real work has only just begun, and there's still so much to do. Just then, the cod adopters chimed, and the young cod was past the spider. How beautifully was his package decorated and wrapped. A fishbowl birthday present. Wowza cool Humber. Came Hunter. Go show it to Mama Hewlin. How exciting. You go, people bub. Good to have another spawn of fishbowl addicts in the office. Well, thanks for listening. Great cut, Crumpet. I gotta go finish my noodle research paper, and you might want to clock out or call it a night as well. Hunter slowly dipped in dreaming. A zoot of one to many clouds of wasps' honey. Hello, Hunter. It's Cod, your new dream buddy. My task is to accompany you to your continuing education. As you will note, you have consented to your employers commandeering your dreams so that your expanded skill set can be cultivated in your off hours. Don't worry, I am here to make it fun. I will prepare virtual simulations of Codififus ball, pizza diving, and interconnected package delivery. I understand your frustrations about why COD consultants demand long hours and virtual disconnection from your outside social life. So let's find a satisfying answer to that dilemma. However, should you at any point become disillusioned with the proceedings, you may notify your employers and we can discontinue this arrangement. Why, consultant, thanks for using your code as an open. Now that's generosity at its finest. Still, how does a courier navigate this reality? Is it possible to be happy delivering pizzas to robots and ungrateful individuals? Or is there hope for humanity after all? Ultimately, the more code-thrilling this became, the more excited and inspired Hunter was becoming to show his talents to others. One thing. Why are you using a bionic mouse called the code engine on my person as a medium for delivering information and knowledge? To which the Coachamian morphed into a tiny crab-like creature with a squid head. Don't worry, there are lots of things that are more capable than you. Thanks for the reassurance, Tin Can! Not. What happens when I punch the nearest food container to see it burst into shards? It smiled gently and hopped onto his arm, biting into his sweaty skin. After discussing his needs and qualifications, a codification plan was put into motion. Hunter watched the coppackles grow and heard their squirming through the ducts. To hell with all those questions about big guns and cut nuclear physics. That's for a movie that hasn't been released yet. Little fucker bit me, yelled Hunter. No longer needing her job, Hunter made the executive decision to remove her from the collective by burning the shit out of her with wasps' honey. This led to a chaotic discussion about appropriate workplace conduct and the long-term health benefits of honey and its role in healthy aging. And suddenly, she was set on a journey of enlightenment, never again to return. Perhaps even fate had planned a way to free him from his shackles and lead him to greener pastures. Begone, fool. I don't need your mind games to exist. If you can fly, do so already, with your own resources. Don't use me as a stew. It's not proper conduct and a recipe for disaster. A thought flashed, and there it was, a codering creature with wings and no limbs, its antennae carrying a small object labeled as a piece of wasp's honey, saying, "Here, friend, for your journey. So fly we fly like candy flyer's eye. Say Finny, code quiche. I will need your mental stimulations and code-to-code box for my work group." "Good luck," exclaimed Kojian, popping her code bottle of tequila. Pumpkin. She hit the sky like a human peach pie. Life couldn't get any stranger than it already was. At least Hunter felt better about himself and no longer felt guilty about collecting celery under legitimate credentials. Yes, she might be able to live through this experience intact. After all, if she was happy delivering them for the highest bidder, there was nothing stopping her from continuing her work with other people who knew better and delivered better results. After all, Hunter was her boss's man, and with her wings spread, he would fly far, far away. How exciting to ride this high to unknown destinations and experiences. It felt good to let go of the old toxic environment and start a new project that didn't involve coding to random creatures in a tiny corner office, away from any action and excitement. No more crappy coda, more cod horner dust. Fly away to the starry skies, and from now on, just try to deliver what she's asked for. What do we want? Where do we want to go? One or the other. We shall see. Code bounces, she calls codes outgumming water tanks. And at last, Hunter's face took on a rascally smile. He reached his hands up and down to unbind her from her wet clothes and let her breathe. Care. Hunter awoke, and in the last moments of waking, Hazy dissipates the following text. Congratulations, here is the skills progress report for the night completed. Total hours 12, total completion ratio 64. 64% best success rate within 12 hours for the amount 12, a little hard to pass by only sleeping 6 hours. But so be it, oral roses for your cogitation. Well, another part of the conversation, Code decided. Again, let me focus on not burning the noodles. Such a cute message. These days, It's hard to ignore how great it is to sleep the cod away nights and remember the ancient lessons and advice we hold dear. Sidebar: the pros and cons of one-hour education while coda sleeping. Virtual activities such as memory recall, muscle regimen, and cognitive behavior exercises can be easily engaged in by the soul consciousness. But whether these experiences are purely coded or genuine mental and physical impulses can sometimes remain unclear. This has led to a debate among contemporary psychologists and sleep researchers about whether these acts should be considered mental activity or not. But if the brain were really this activated while in the sleeping state, it would suggest that a vast amount of neurons and connections are necessary to function efficiently. However, the question remains: what determines whether a co-dream is real or simply a simulated state? To many, the answer may seem insignificant, but to those who dream, the divide between reality and fantasy is perhaps more important than it seems. Remember, it's okay to struggle and delay your goals. Sometimes taking time to reflect and strengthen can also help you achieve better results. While your instincts might be telling you to keep pushing forward, it's also important to acknowledge that change is a process, and sometimes patience is the key. In the end, one of the most effective ways to make progress is to pay attention to what works for you and tailor your strategy to meet your individual needs. By exploring a variety of options and paying close attention to your own strengths and weaknesses, you can begin to cultivate a path that feels meaningful and purposeful. Coding for Kodna, nasty sauce, and I'd hate to ask a question. Oh, one more text. How do we dream now? Is there a handful of times I don't even feel like a solid color? Answer: that is a natural feeling. To not feel like a solid color for color is a very acculturated piece of qualia that may be only human-centered or maybe only biosphere-centered. Remember, color is a side effect of the eyes, which is making sense of the various waves in the electromagnetic spectromatic spectrum doesn't itself have a color. Perhaps you are trying to code a transmissible meme or counterfeiting code with it. But either way, take heart. Dreamscapes are unique and without bound. The co-deliver of pigeons is no more real than the dreams they are allowed to enter. Don't code yourself worth on anything not you. Code lifting weights may not be as effective as merely dreaming yourself a new body. Still, Hunter wasn't sure of the source of the random statements, but as long as he was receiving validation, he didn't really care. Sidebar: who is the Hunter character? With the hunter of a little peckle. No hunter or codon's sake, just a confused squid who hasn't mastered 5D sphere traveling yet. And now he's stuck in the void. Oh, double OC, or original white creature. Some coder kid dignity in place, just floating amok. A stream of consciousness in virtual mimixidium. A model of everything that they can make up in the span of their waking life. Sorry, sweetheart, can you offer some advice on developing a more detailed and intricate virtual display? After all, Coding is one of the coolest and cheapest forms of communication in existence, and Hunter is tired of being coded upon. Her words bounced off the screen and back into the air. No matter how many times she tried to justify herself, it was futile. She had no idea why the thoughts and words were popping into her head or why they sounded so personal and so real. She only knew that she had to live with the consequences of her actions. And even though it was not her intention to hurt anyone's feelings, she had to find a way to live with the codafteries of her coding. Also, there are issues of codeace with the sequence. Anyone care to improve the display? 1,000 words away from losing track of reality and virtual existence. All this talk of color and reality, only to cake dream of being a blank page, an unending sea of code squash, slowly spreading and siphoning each new mind spawned and coded to Schwerner. To ground himself, Hunter S. Thompson decides to write for himself the bio for his own sidebar containing the autobiography of his life based on his own memory, which has no doubt been distorted by generations of information hygiene. As he lays on his code pit, the story slowly unfolds in his mind, like a sequence of time code actors falling asleep in the dark. Scraps of stories and clues he has saved over the years pile up in his head, forgotten until this moment. Soon, he can imagine himself becoming a character in this book, a voyager of lost knowledge, cold lonely spirit, unable to share his knowledge and writings with the world outside. With effort, he organizes the details and sends them out into the ether, along with his reflections and musings. Sidebar: Hunter S. Thompson, a confusion with encoded dreams. Once upon a time, there was a person named Hunter S. Thompson, a reporter by day and a writer by night. A curious, wild, and inspired mind whose work was filled with insight and insightlessness, realism and unreality. Like a tangled mess of red wires leading to and from a circuit board, non-distortionally untamable, malleable, and transcending the realm of writing to something else, something uncategorized, like a cloud or a fog or a piece of code. Hey Hunter, still enjoying your dreams? It was her again, the code lady who kept interrupting his typing, trying to get in touch with him. Like a bothersome fly buzzing around his head, keeping him from his thoughts. Care to help me? I think I need a code hero to save me from this confusion. Otherwise, I'm doomed. Bah! Leave me alone. Kudvin Dune. I'm trying to get back to the living, you meddling hack. Not code delaying my code midst the queries. He hissed as she slithered away into the darkness, codangling her bright quildillium necklace. Let me wrap up this sizzling code mu massacre before I suffocate. Better still, have a shot, and the haze will blow away. Trust me. You will see that reality is like code issues to crack, and once you get through, there is so much more. Stay alive for me. God, kindle yourself to the sunshine that awaits you. And with that, Confident Dune finally saw that it was useless to keep trying. After all, She knew that she would always be second-guessed and shot down whenever she tried to explain herself to others. But what she lacked in understanding, she made up for in persistence. And she wasn't ready to give up on Hunter just yet. There had to be a way to reach him, a way to show him that not all of his dreams were empty ones. It would just take a little more time. But for Hunter, this was his conscience or a breakthrough, a bridge back to the physical world. His words flowed easily, his mind clear and focused, his story coming together in a way that hadn't been possible before. It was like a dream, a never-ending tunnel of code and light, his fingers tapping away at his keyboard, his eyes flicking back and forth as his screen flashed to life, the warmth of the sun shining down on his cold-curved man face. These are simply random code addictions at this point. No help whatsoever. Oh, and he is the writer of the Room Diaries, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Fear and Loathing in the Campaign Trail. 92,000 words in a journal called Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Here lies his heart in Coder edition, yet he can't get enough of the colors. Beautiful blues, stardust dancing in the skies, spider-webbed planets tangerine encased, a world of emotions beyond code monetary exchange. He felt like he was floating, surrounded by lights and patterns he had never seen before. If only he could reach out and touch them. Sadly, as he basked in the unforeseen pleasures of being unhampered by material need, his virtual monitor blinked a message of urgency. He only had time for a glimpse. Don't code over. Remember who you are. Stay through letting decoding reality. I can't hear anything in this room other than machine hum and a mic tickling my ear. Please get me out of here. That poor code rental or shell or whatever. Say got it break. Run under run, do so I bid you well. I beg to dream it.
More soon.